Hi, everybody. I'm Lori Pinhorn, social worker and holistic nutritionist, and I'm the creator of LoriPinhorn.com and one of the co-creators of FeedingFuturesNutrition.com. And what I want to talk to you today is about this book. It's called Stop Overreacting. A very smart person told me about this book when I was recommending another book for her to read, and she said, I don't think I'm going to really like that book, but I came back with this, and I had to go out and get a copy of it right away. I read part of it online, and then I went and got my own copy. I'm on round 2 now of this book, trying to really digest the whole thing. It was written by a social worker. Her name is Judith P Siegel or Siegel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She's PhD in social work. She's a clinical social worker who I think is Canadian, but she practices in the States, doing a lot of great family work with people and individual work. So if you're somebody who sometimes you're like, oh God, why did I say that? Like, now I got to go back and apologize to that person. You're either worried about, you're exploding at people, or maybe you're even imploding on yourself, which she does a great job of explaining in this book about the imploding. And personally, I think a lot of the emotional overeaters that I'm working with could really, really benefit from this book, and especially starting to understand about the whole implosion piece when you're really mean, nasty to yourself. Or maybe you're wondering why I have all of these goals, but I'm just in shutdown mode. Shutdown is also a part of the whole implosion process. So she does a great job in this book of explaining some of the brain chemistry and the functions of the brain that, there's certain parts of the brain that make us overreact, and how once those parts of the brain, like the amygdala and some other parts of the brain, once they're really, really heightened, it's hard to kind of talk to that part of the brain. So, like, what do you do to actually simmer down? And she talks about deep breathing, and I think she should talk more about the nutrition piece, but that's just my bias towards it, because nutrition, too, plays a role in our overreacting, because what we eat increases our stress hormones or decreases our stress hormones. So maybe if I ever get a chance to meet her, we'll talk about that piece. But she does a really great job of helping people understand the types of overreactions that we have, where they come from in our childhood, and what to do about them. And, I do think that some of this emotional regulation piece is truly a missing piece in other health and wellness programs. So if you're overreacting and you're having lots of anxiety and mood management issues, you can't low calorie your way out of that. You really need a strategy about how are you going to manage that emotion or those emotions better, so that you navigate your world better. So if a trigger for you to overeat or not take care of yourself is how you feel about yourself, or how you feel about what you said to somebody, or your envy, your overreactions to people, your jealousy, your implosions on yourself, then that's where the real work has to happen. You could go out on the road and jog up and down the road for miles and miles and miles, and until you resolve some of those deeper emotional issues, you're probably going to end up back in the same place where you were at some point, using food in order to self-soothe and cope. And she does a great job of helping people understand the emotional part of the regulation piece in this. Some great tips. Beautiful book, easy to read. I'm a bit biased because it was written by a social worker, but there you go. And there's always a copy of it online to download onto your computer. But I got this one here in Newfoundland at Chapters, and I can't say enough about it. I'm a bit of a broken record about it these days, but go out and get a copy. I hope you have a great week. Bye.